Corporate Responsibility with Impact is brought to you by Grand & Toy, a company that embraces social responsibility across every facet of its business.
Can we find a way to actually prove that as a society we can come up with a different economic model where you can actually generate profits but do good at the same time?
Welcome to Corporate Responsibility with Impact. Today we're going to be exploring a really interesting and important aspect of community investment called social hiring, which is a really important and growing area of community investment. We'll be speaking with Bill Young, who's the president of Social Capital Partners and is really a pioneer in this field of social hiring.
As I often say, I'm one of these, hugely lucky people in life who's, I spent 20 odd years in the private sector, and my ship came in is the simple way to describe it. I mean, I lucked out and ended up with more money than I was ever going to need or my family was ever going to need, and a real sense that the wheel of fortune had spun really, really well for me, and that it doesn't spin really, really well for everyone. So here I thought, boy, I've been given this opportunity to think about how to use my business experience in a different way, in a way that hopefully can leverage that experience to do good, and that's what brought me to form Social Capital Partners back in 2001. So the whole idea was, can we find a sustainable approach, a money-generating approach to solve a structural social challenge? And the one we picked was, how do we find meaningful job opportunities for people who face employment barriers? Is there a way of doing this rather than just depending on, say, government funding to train people to go out and look for a job? Could we do something different, like start businesses where part of the design of that business was actually to employ people? What we're doing right now is I would call it sort of an enlightened broker or whatever, an interface between community service agencies that are helping get people to job ready and then trying to place them, and companies that would be interested in hiring. So we would provide startup capital to any business person that wanted to buy one of their locations, but that our conditions would look a bit different. To get our capital, they would have to agree to hire X number of their employees through our social hiring program. That was the genesis of the idea. Interesting enough, Active Green and Ross jumped on it right away. They're owned by an Italian immigrant who thinks he lucked out coming to Canada, said, this is an interesting way to give back, and said, okay, why don't we do a pilot with you in Hamilton and see if it works.
Basically, just like any other, they give you financial loans for your business, and in return for that, your hiring is to be a certain percentage from social programs. Okay, so we'll bring people in from the different various social programs around our community that those people are looking for jobs with help through the Y and Job Connect, places like that.
But we still want someone who embraces, kind of the long-term aspects and benefits of this, and someone who's, not afraid to go on this journey.
You got to believe in the program, which we do. Right from day one, we knew that there would be people who were in these programs because they didn't have specific skills, but they had great characteristics, and then gave these people an opportunity, and a lot of them have shone, and they've really, in a company that's, we're not a massive company, we're a small company. So everybody comes in with the same objective. I want to get them to the highest level that I can for them, and if there's no room within our company for them, we move them off somewhere else where they're going to have greater success.
And so that's where we started, and we started with 6 hires in Hamilton, where we did the due diligence to find the right community service agent to provide the right candidates. And 6 worked out. They said, let's do another, and now we're up to 24.
There's a mixed bag. I mean, there's people that are second chance people that I get through social services, young people who went through various work-oriented schooling programs and things like that. Just a whole gambit of people, and I've been very lucky and gotten a lot of good people, many of whom are still with me, and many who have moved on to good careers.
But the real eureka moment for us was this notion of, hey, they're performing well. We should be getting people and corporations to embrace this, as a regular part of their business, because not only is it a good thing to do for the community, the bigger reason is there's a great business case for doing it. These are people who don't feel entitled to that job. They are grateful for someone giving them that opportunity, and they perform with that in mind. So
you're going to go through a lot of guys through these programs that aren't interested in your business or that career or whatever, but when you find the one it is, they seem to have more motivation to do well for themselves. So that's my only, recommendation that I can give to people who are looking to hire, is that when you find the guy, the girl, they're going to work, really hard for you, and they really want to do something with themselves.
What made us understand that this had a broader application than just our financing for this was when Active Green Ross said, look, we want to use your social hiring program in our company-owned stores. We don't need your financing there. You found us access to a labor pool we never would have had access to. They're working out. It's the right thing to do for the community. Why wouldn't we do it? And that's where we said, oh boy, this has application. So I think it's a nice message for corporations anytime you can say, not only are you doing good in the community, but you're going to help your business this way. That makes it a lot easier to embrace.
With any social program, whether it be one that you volunteer in or something like this that you've decided to partner with and become a part of, you're only going to get out of it what you put into it. So if you invest your time and your resources in the people that you bring in, that is going to turn them into people that are going to invest all their efforts into you, into your business.
And this is why it's so important for us to establish the business case for corporations. Because if we can get data that shows, which we've begun to get with Active Green Ross, and will more so with the number of customers we've just signed on, and frankly, it can save the government hundreds of millions of dollars.
The reward to me is that I go home feeling good every day when I see one of my guys succeeding who came from being, virtually unemployable.
And they will perform every bit as well or better than someone from, hired into entry-level positions from more traditional means. And that's where you feel great when you hear those individual stories of, people who've started as a lube tech at Active Green and Ross and are now either a licensed mechanic or a manager or that kind of thing, and are probably going to be lifers in the company because that company gave them the opportunity and the chance, and they don't forget that.
I think that as they get into it and they have successes and they see what they're doing for people's lives, that it'll give them the motivation that they need to continue on with it. I don't think it's a prerequisite. I think it's something that they just need to look at other people's successes like mine, and they'll see that not only is it probably the best place to hire the entry-level people, but the reward to them in their, in their own personal life will be, just as big.
Here's a summary of what we've learned about social hiring from Bill and Andrew. 1. People without specific skills but with great characteristics can be very valuable employees. 2. Social hiring is a great way for companies to give back in a way that has clear and measurable business value. And 3. ROI is based on the time and resources your company is able to invest in its social hires. Please visit impactcorp.com to download a tool that will help guide social hiring at your company.
With the new Grandin toy, you'll find the right products, services, and solutions to make your business better, including a wide selection of office furniture and the expertise to help you create more inspired workspaces. And furniture is just the beginning. Talk to a business solutions advisor for all your office needs.